how do I get to wave 100? I want to get the new ultimate rarity. Who cares? Top 10 weakest units tier list. Everyone always talks about how strong units are, this and that. How will I make fun of the ones that suck? Today, I'm going to rank the top 10 worst units. However, I'm not going to rank them solely based on damage per second. I'm going to rank them based on the damage that they do in their own tier. If you're a Toy Title Defense and you consider yourself a strong unit, make sure you like and subscribe. Either way, without further ado, let's go see which is the 10th worst unit in the game. This pick is going to surprise a ton of people, but with the way this list works, this is 100% the number 10 weakest unit, and that's none other than the Speaker Man himself. I know this list might be hard for you guys to understand, but you just have to bear with. The Speaker Man is definitely at number 10. The average DPS of the common unit is 200, and the Speaker Man does 200 damage, so it's exactly average. It's no more, no less from that in the common tier. As I go farther down this list, the list structure will make more and more sense, and then you'll start going, oh, yeah, I agree. But for now, the Speaker Man locks in number 10 weakest unit. Is he the weakest via DPS in the game? Yes, but not by the common tier, and that's how we're ranked. Moving on to number 9. Can we get number 9? And no, it's not the Frost DJ. I just went ahead and took this off the list before anyone can complain about it. Yes, I put in the farm unit / support unit because technically they can't do any damage, therefore they're weak. However, in terms of doing damage, they do none, but they all are unique and very necessary in their own ways. This is more just a check mark, just so no one can complain about it in the comments. Moving on to number 8. Coming in at number 8 is our first kind of legitimate pick on this list, is the Titan Cinemon Man, Cinemon Man. This is debatably my least favorite unit in all of Toy Tower Defense. Statistically, he's not the worst mythic unit. He's also not the second worst mythic unit statistic. There's a unit on this list that's statistically way worse than this one. The Titan Cinemon Man still manages to pull 50% of the average damage of the mythic category, so he's still bad. He's a very bad unit, super weak, but out of all the mythics, he's not statistically the worst, but I had to throw him on here kind of as an honorable mention because I just think he sucks so bad. Either way, this is where the list really begins at number 7, so I will see you there. Coming in at number 7 for weakest units is in fact the rare category. It's none other than the Speaker Helicopter. The average DPS for a unit at the rare category is 1264. That is the average damage a rare unit does, and the Speaker Helicopter has a max DPS 400, meaning the Speaker Helicopter does 31.6% of the average of rare units. So that means statistically, on average, rare units are 70% better than the Speaker Helicopter. I think you guys are starting to understand and see how this list works. So that is the worst rare unit statistically speaking, making it the 7th weakest unit on this list. But let's move on to number 6. Coming in at number 6 for the uncommon tier, we have the Cameraman. The Cameraman does a base damage of 250, while the average uncommon unit is doing about 812 damage per second. So that being said, the Cameraman veers from the average by about 70%. The Cameraman does 30% of the average normal damage of uncommon units. For example, something like the Scary Cameraman is doing leaps and bounds better than the Cameraman in the uncommon tier, which is the reason why the Cameraman is going to lock himself in at number 6. Wait a minute, if all the low tiers are out of the way, what rarity's next? Let's move on to number 5. Number 5 of the weakest units might make some people go, but number 5 on this list is going to be none other than the Dark Speaker Man. The Dark Speaker Man is statistically easily the worst legendary unit. The average damage of a mythical unit, legendary unit, is about 5,239 damage. For example, even the Secret Agent is doing above 6,000 DPS. Yes, I'm not kidding. The Dark Speaker Man finds himself at a spot of only doing 1,500 damage per second, which is only 28.5% of what the average of a normal legendary unit is. So unfortunately for our boy Dark Speaker Man, he's getting relegated to number 5. Let's go on to number 4. I'm pretty sure almost all of you guys were expecting this unit to make it on the list somewhere, and I also alluded to it earlier. The worst mythic unit and also the weakest unit on this list, coming in at number 4, is none other than the Shotgun Cameraman. The Shotgun Cameraman has a DPS of, I believe, 1,500. I'll have to double check. I'll put it on the screen now. But this boy is doing that that much damage per second, which is not a lot. It's not a lot at all. The average mythical is doing 21,000 damage per second, which means the shotgun cameraman is only doing 28% of that average. As far as units go, obviously it's still a mythic and it's still a strong unit, but once again, we're rating this by how far these units deviate from their categories. With that being said, statistically, the shotgun cameraman is easily the weakest mythical unit and the worst one, and I would stay away from it if you could. He'll get you sick. All right, let's move on to number 3. I feel terrible that I have to put such a beautiful woman at number 3, but I must do what I need to do. Coming at number 3 on the most weakest units in the game is none other than the surveillance camera woman, and this is a bad one. The average damage per second of most other epic units is none other than 3,583. However, the surveillance camera woman only has a max DPS of 700 and ouch. That means the surveillance camera woman is doing a whopping 21% of that average, meaning it's 80% worse than every other average epic unit. If you can't put that in perspective, the turkey speaker man is literally running circles around the surveillance camera woman. It would take 6 surveillance camera women to beat 1 turkey speaker man. Yes, I'm not kidding about it. So with that being said, the surveillance camera woman 1000%, and it's single damage unit. It's insane. 1000% locks itself in at number 3 weakest unit in all of Toilet Tower. Let's move on to number 2. Let me tell you something. When I made a list of weakest units, I don't think people were expecting to see this man, let alone see this man ever again. Coming in at number 2 weakest units in all of Toilet Tower Defense, it is going to be the large scientist cameraman. I bet most people haven't even seen this unit or even know he exists. So for exclusive units, the average damage per second of exclusives, excluding support units, 16,192, which is pretty high. However, the large scientist cameraman's is not. The large scientist cameraman does a max DPS of 600. Yes, you heard me say that. 600. That's it. Yes, he does have this special ability where he heals. Don't even know what that means. What does that mean? Either way, the large scientist cameraman does 6% of what a normal exclusive damage unit does. That is so bad. It is statistically 94% worse than the other average exclusive unit. So yeah, I would avoid this unit if you could, which ultimately locks the large scientist cameraman up at number 2 weakest unit. I don't think you guys are ready for what comes in at number 1 of all of the weakest units in all of Toilet Tower Defense. If you've made it this far in the video, that means you're a real one, and I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you join the Hopeless group in Roblox, and I might say hi to you. All right, let's go to number 1. And coming in at number 1 of all of the weakest units in Toilet Tower Defense, and no, I don't like doing this to such a beautiful woman. We have none other than the TV woman. Yes, once again, a unit that most of you guys probably didn't know existed for good reason. So this is also an exclusive unit, and it does do the same amount as the large scientist man. So it technically could have been 1 and 2, but I would make the TV woman 100% hands down take the cake for the worst unit for 2 reasons. She has less range than the cameraman, the scientist one. She costs more to upgrade. She has less range, and the scientist cameraman has another special ability while the TV woman doesn't. And they do the same amount of damage. She doesn't even do more. And the large scientist does that much more damage. So without a singular doubt, the TV woman is the worst Toilet Tower Defense unit. Once again, statistically, 94% worse any other exclusive unit that does damage. So yeah, she's pretty bad. I mean, she is kind of bad though. So I would say she's pretty hot. So that being said and done, that is going to be the full list of the weakest unit in Toilet Tower Defense. Let me know if you agree with the way I structured this video. I just tried something new, and I thought it made sense just so I didn't use my bias on all these units. But if you haven't already, make sure you check out yesterday's video for an absolute banger. I appreciate y'all for watching, and make sure you subscribe so you get to 40K by the end of the year. And bye!